Hey, what's good? You're talking to a girl from the hood. Yeah, I got a little bit of sense, and I'm looking for a man that can be my fresh prince. I've been working hard trying to see just who I am. Trying to use my voice, learning how to take a stand. Understanding what's important, who needs help, who needs me. Giving meaning to my people and awareness to the streets. I empower, I encourage, I educate, it's a need. I'ma put y'all up on game, all you gotta do is take heed. Entertain you for an hour, you laugh and you might cry. I'ma always be transparent and I'll never tell a lie. So come along and join me. I have things to discuss. You're following your girl who found her purpose. You're following your girl who found her purpose. Hey, hey. You're following your girl who found her purpose. Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Sabbath. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining me for another episode of She Who Found Her Purpose. I am Linnell, your host, and it's another amazing Saturday. I'm so glad that we all were able to wake up this morning and come and just, congregate and talk about some things because, it's the beginning of the year, and I think there are a lot of amazing topics that we can hit every single Saturday at 9 a.m. But before I do that, I got to go over a couple of disclaimers, let you guys know that obviously, I am a Black woman. So this show will be from a Black woman's perspective, but my perspective is not the only perspective. I welcome everyone's opinions, but we definitely want to make sure that we're being respectful to one another and we're mindful of the different things that could offend people. But with that being said, this is an open platform. We talk about anything and everything. So I want to let you guys know that you may hear some things you may not want to hear, but on this show, we're going to talk about it anyway. So, with that being said, before I get into everything, let me give you guys a couple of phone numbers. If you are struggling with any type of mental health issues, and that means any type of depression, anxiety, if you're just stressed, if you need someone to talk to, you can always reach out to Los Angeles Department of Mental Health. That number is 800-854-7771. And that's if you're in the Los Angeles area. If you're in the Kern County area, then you can contact 800-991-5272. That way, you have access to resources if you need any type of social support, if you're dealing with children, if you're dealing with homelessness, if you're dealing with substance use. These are the phone numbers that you can refer back to. And I always tell you guys this show is recorded. So these numbers are numbers that you can get time and time again, even if the show is not live. Last but not least, I always like to provide the Suicide Helpline. That number is 800-273-8255. There has been a lot of suicide and just individuals thinking about suicide because of the pandemic. And so I want to make sure that I provide you guys with this number as well. And again, that number is 800-273-8255. So I got all my numbers out the way. I've stated my disclaimers. If you already don't know who you're watching She Who Found Her Purpose. And if you have a topic that you would like me to talk about, if you would like to be on the show, I want you to hit me up in my inbox at shewhofoundherpurpose@gmail.com. I will get back to you fast. I want you guys to talk about, once again, things that you feel are important. I want to be able to have that interaction. And so that's why you have this opportunity and option. So if you're thinking about being on the show, hit me up in my inbox, shewhofoundherpurpose@gmail.com. And also follow, like, and share. I'm on YouTube and I'm on Facebook. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. Y'all feel like I'm getting old. But my main places, once again, Facebook and YouTube. So follow me. Oh, okay. That was a mouthful. So without further ado, I told you guys last week that these next 2 weeks we were going to be talking about relationships and just different love languages. And That's because Valentine's Day is coming up. I know there were a lot of people on the show last week that told me that I needed to make sure that I talked about it from a relationship standpoint and also from like a single individual standpoint, if that makes sense. And so I wanted to make sure that before we talk about love languages, which is what I'm going to do next week, we're going to talk about the basic foundation of relationships. And so, I always like to have a different perspective on the show. It's always good when I can have, somebody else to bounce things off of, and especially when we don't agree. And me and this individual, we never really agree, but it's okay because we can agree to disagree. So it makes him, a good person to be on the show, especially when I'm having topics like this. And because he's a man, he's going to have a different perspective. So I want to introduce my guest for this week, which is someone who's been on my show before. He was on a guest on my show with another young lady, but today I'm going to let him have the spotlight because I know he has a lot that he wants to say on this subject. But it's Mr. Tillman, the Velvet One. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing? I'm blessed.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. And yes, I think I guess I should say I'm blessed too. I'm definitely blessed. I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful to be talking to you. I know I see you laid up. Why you laid up over there?
I'm sitting up. I had a hernia surgery, so I'm just in recovery mode. Can't do
Yes,
too much,
yes.
but get ready for when the creator says time to go. So I'm just in there preparing, healing up, and staying focused and positive and thanking my blessings and being grateful for having my own place and bills paid and not have to worry about stress and the money to
Yes.
pay my bills. So it's all a blessing. I'm just taking it all in.
Yep, it's the little things that matter.
The
I
little
think
things.
yeah, people don't understand that. I was talking to someone else and they said something similar to what you said, just about, having your own space and being able to kind of just sit there and not be bothered and not, have to worry about somebody telling you you have to leave or you got to get up at this time or just not having your own. So when you have your own, you want to have that time to yourself and that peace, and you want to just lay there. You might want to just watch TV. And people may be like, why are you at home all the time or why are you doing this? But it's that the solitude, I guess, and just being thankful.
Yeah, it's nothing better than the peace of mind and having a peace of mind and having you know, that aura to where everything around you is cool. You don't hear nothing. It's quiet. I don't hear no
Right.
noise. I don't hear nobody yapping, no TV, ain't nobody in the background on social media. Ain't nothing turned up. It's just tranquility. You know what I
Right.
mean? And ain't no static.
Well,
Everything's clear. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
too because you don't have no kids. When you have kids and different things, or you have family that's maybe always frequent in your house, that's when you have social media in the background or TVs. If you have a significant other or those relationships, which is kind of what we're talking about today,
Yeah,
different relationships.
there's a lot of static. When you wake up, people don't understand when it's late and 2, 3 in the morning, it's real serene, so you can hear a lot clearly.
Right,
When people start waking up and people start moving, then that's when all the noise and the commotion and the static comes in, and your frequencies change
right, right.
because it's a lot of movement going on. So the frequency is very different when you somewhere sound and quiet by yourself. No matter what's going on outside the walls,
Hmm.
you can always have that tranquility and that quietness. You know what I mean? And you can concentrate, meditate a lot better than with a lot of noise going around you.
Right, right. That makes sense. That makes sense. Is that something you've always done, or something that you've learned?
It's something that I've learned, having to do a lot of time in prison and being around a lot of people. Uh, Not when I was, even when I was in a hole. If you go to if you go to solitary confinement, you might be in a room by yourself, but it's a whole lot of noise, especially
Right,
when people is up and people moving around, and going through stuff. But I mean, God has trained me to lock that stuff out and know how to focus and just go clear, you know what I'm saying, and hear only what I need to hear. So it's been a benefit to me, certain things that God has helped me to be able to, get beyond that others might think is impossible or hard to believe. But hell, your travels ain't mine. So what you don't believe, it don't matter to me
Exactly.
because I know how the Creator has made me and trained me to be over time, So it don't happen overnight, but it's take a lot of time to be able to channel out a lot of noise and meditate no matter what's going on around you.
Right, right. Do you think that that has helped you to maybe be in a different place?
Oh, most definitely, because with all this coronavirus going on, all the stress going on, all the people that's dying, loved ones that's dying. I just had two family members that died. I
Oh, I'm
mean, just
sorry to
died
hear that.
just recently. I was on my operating bed. My cousin, her funeral was in session. Then the next day, my auntie passed. So it's like it's a lot of death around everybody, and it's relatable. So it's a lot of stuff that you have to kind of be strong and kind of channel out, and you got to keep going forward. Like I told my little
Right,
cousin, it's like we here still for a reason, and we got to be strong. And ain't nobody ever came back from the dead and told me it was cool over there. You know what I mean?
right,
So
right.
I want to be right here as long as I can be. And then when I go, hey, if I can come back and tell somebody, I will.
And that's what it's all about. We talked about that last week, like sharing your experiences because that can help the next person. So everything
Yeah,
that you're talking about, you know what I'm saying, whether it be good, bad, uncomfortable, sometimes, I mean, it's not only beneficial to you, it's beneficial to someone else.
yeah, sharing is caring. And I think for
Hmm.
me, sharing and having open topics and discussions with people is kind of self therapeutic for me. And
Okay.
and just sharing as well, because it's like I'm the type of person, I want to give back and I want to share my experiences and my knowledge and wisdom with people that want to listen. And whether
Okay.
they get it or not, if they might not get it, but if I could plant a seed or just give somebody some type of experience that they might run into or
Uh-huh.
somebody else might run into and they can help them, it's cool. But like they say, sharing is caring. If you don't care, you ain't gonna share. But if, me myself, I want to share because I care and I want to see people win and I want to
Right,
see people
right.
better themselves in all different type of aspects of life. So I'm an open book. Certain things in my life I do keep private, but for the most part, I'm trying to give and share my experiences and my expertise and things like that, so it can help the next person.
Right, right. See, and I think that's probably why I wanted you to be on the show today. Not probably, it is. Because just your perspective as well. Like I said, we agree on some things, but we don't agree on a lot of things. So
Man, we sure don't.
we often butt heads. But I wanted to talk about relationships, but in every aspect and on every level. So when I'm talking about this, and once again, I know it's a build up because next week it's going to be on love languages and how that translates since it's Valentine's Day weekend. But I wanted today to talk about just relationships in general. So this could mean with like family, it could mean friends, it could mean a significant other. But I think a lot of people misconstrue what a relationship means or where that foundation comes from. And so that's when they get things mixed up. And it's about building that basic foundation first, I think. And you know how they always say, like, you want the person to be your friend first, you know? And that's true, I think, to a certain extent, but I think that is true.
It has
What
to
you
be
think?
some type of friendship or closeness there and an intimate relationship, because after the sex is gone, if it ain't no friendship or some type of bond that or spiritual connection, it can just go out the window and be gone and done or over with. You know what I mean? And
Right.
somebody feelings might be more attached to the next person,
Yep.
and somebody might get booty hurt, and you know, and they want to get in
Which
their
is the
feelings and do
men.
something
No, just
crazy.
look.
You
Look.
know, so it's just like some people. I mean, to me, it's like you build different type of bonds and relationships with the different type of relationship that you establish, whether it's business, whether it's social, whether it's
Right.
intimate, whether it's a friend, or whether it's just somebody that you just talk to and vibe with on social media, or somebody that you just come in contact in passing at work or somewhere else. And, and it's just it's a respect level that I think has to be formed. And when you're talking about intimate relationships, that's a whole different ball game, because you add sex, you add time, you add the give back and forth, you add different things that's going on in people's lives that might contrast with the other person, and the other person might not understand it clearly because they're not even in your life and in tune to what you're doing and what you
Right,
got
right,
going futuristic. So those things can clash, and that's why communication is really the key, especially in new relationships. Because if you don't know somebody, they don't know you, you might hit it off good. Sex might be the ultimate thing, but after that, it might clash like hell outside of sex. You know what I'm saying?
right, right,
Because it's like once them intimate feelings and emotions get involved, some people might feel like they entitled to certain things, with the other
yes,
person.
right, right,
And if they feel like they don't get it for whatever reasons, they might, get in their feelings or start acting out, but they don't really know what's going on with the other person to even understand, why is this person acting like that? I ain't acting funny because, I just got off and it's a wrap right there. But after sex, it's still stuff that got to be done in life. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Well,
Still
yeah,
stuff on the
bills got to
agenda
be
for the
paid. People got to go to work.
man,
Kids got to be taken care of. Problems got to be solved. I mean, sex don't take
everything.
away life.
And everybody is not on the same journey. And like you say profoundly, everybody's not trying to better themselves. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yes.
So, some people are set and complacent where they at, and some people are not. And I'm
Right.
one of them people that I've lost a lot of time in my life, and I've had millions in a dope game, but and I can't get back the time from being a father and a brother and a son and all that stuff. But I'm just doing what I have to do, because without me being healthy and having the opportunity to move forward and try to build a foundation,
Mm-hmm.
it's a struggle. You know what I'm saying? But and then coming out of prison, not having them that strong support system, it's super hard when you really got to be self-made. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yes.
And through the guidance of the creator, it's different. Some people come home, they got a place, they got a car, people buy them clothes,
Yeah.
they ain't got nothing to worry about. They got a roof over their head. But when you come out and you ain't got that stuff, it's a whole different ball game. And
Yeah,
then you
because your
equate.
hierarchy of needs need to be met before you can, think about anything else. And on top of that, depending on the amount of time that you were gone, your focus maybe, yeah, I want a relationship and kids, but once again, that hierarchy of needs is still there.
and,
You know
and
what I mean?
let me be perfectly clear with anybody who have a misconception about anybody coming home from prison, whether it be male or female. A person coming home from prison, I don't care how long they was in jail. I
Mm-hmm.
don't care if it's male or female. I don't care about their sexual orientation. They want to get it in. You know
Yeah,
what
of
I'm saying?
course. Yeah.
Immediately and fast as possible with whoever that they feel is gonna get that business
Uh-uh.
from them.
You know what?
So,
That probably goes into this, which is why we're doing the show on our wants, needs, and desires.
mhm.
Would you say that this pyramid is accurate then when it talks about, the needs are usually the last thing they think about? At the bottom is the desire. So their desire to be sexually active, not sexually active, but
Well,
intimate
yeah, I think
in that manner. Because
it's a combination. I think of a desire, want, and need, because the body, if you don't have sex, your body is still going to let out fluids that just need to be done, whether it be
right,
sleep, whether it be however, you know what I mean? And then the one is like, damn, not being able to have, you want it, you know what I'm saying? And then desire is just that flash, you know what I'm saying? And it's
right,
just, things that you're attracted to from the opposite sex,
right.
and all of that stuff culminates. But do you really need sex? Like, hey, look, I did I
You
19 years
don't
without
need
sex.
sex.
So
No.
I don't need it to function in life, but it
Right.
does help because
See, now look at,
it's a
okay, so
reset
that's
button.
why I want you to look at this pyramid, because you see it says the desire. So we talked about that. And you
Hmm.
talking about how when somebody desires something, it has more of an emotional satisfaction. So I think it lines up with what you just said. You said that aligns more with them wanting the sex or wanting that interaction. So that's that emotional satisfaction. When it's a want, it has a physical benefit.
You
So
know
the
what?
go ahead.
All of these needs, wants, and desires can kind of be like
Intertwined.
overlapping each other,
Mm-hmm.
because in different aspects, you could psychologically want to be touched and heard and felt, and then it could be a need and desire. Because I mean, if you're not sexually active with someone else, it's different than, masturbating or having sex with a toy. You know what I
Right.
mean? But that reset button is gonna get hit. Once you get off, it's like, oof, okay, I needed that. Now I'm back to
Exactly. Yeah.
business. I'm back to life. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But it's different when it's an actual mechanism, the different mechanism, as opposed to a person.
I
Because
hear you, but what I'm saying is, that's why I said we always say the same thing and go in circles. Because I do
um,
agree. I agree because you're focused right now on the want and the physical benefit. And then the need. The need is the reset. But the need is
yep,
always the last thing, is what I'm saying. And it's the smallest thing, which is at the top. When we talk about just our hierarchy of needs, is different. Usually us having that foundation is at the bottom, you know what I mean? Food and,
yeah,
just those basic necessities. But on this pyramid, because when we're talking about desire, that's more of an emotional satisfaction,
yeah.
and then we want that physical benefit. So we want to, in this case, we talking about having sex and that climax. So the physical benefit would be the climax, right?
No, the
Or
physical, to me,
resetting.
the physical thing is that person. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because you can get a blow up doll, you can get a fifi bag, you can get a pocket coochie, you can get a dildo, and have that sexual desire, and you can come to that climax,
Okay.
man or woman. You know what I mean?
So then the
But it's that,
need is
but
the
that physic,
climax?
but that physicality of doing it with somebody that might you're attracted to. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That thing I think is a lot of key to it, because I mean, people get sprung on just ejaculating
Sex.
and getting off. You know what I'm
Yeah, I know.
saying?
I know.
But
And
then
that,
some people aren't. Some people just want to do it with a certain person. You know what
right.
I'm saying? Because that certain person know how to make them feel, or that fantasy in their mind, that likeness and that physicality is something they don't want to do that with nobody else. I just need that person. I just need her. I just need him, and I don't care about nothing else. You know what I mean?
See. And that's why I also wanted to talk about polyamory relationships,
Mm-hmm.
which is the belief that romantic and or sexual exclusivity is not necessary for a happy, committed relationship. An umbrella term for various types of relationships where all partners involved consent to non-monogamy, such as open relationships, polycules, throuples, and group marriages. Ooh, throuples. Okay.
Whatever that be.
It must be three in a, because it's not a couple, so it's not two. I'm
It's
assuming
a
a
three.
throuple
It's a
would be
try, huh?
three. Yeah.
A menage a
I
trois,
don't know. A grapple would be a group. I don't know.
huh?
But I wanted to bring all these things up because when we talk about relationships, we always focus on just one thing. We always go to a man and a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Always. And it's not just that. It could be, a bi relationship, a gay relationship. It could be a poly relationship. I mean, there are so many different relationships these days and so many reasons people get in those relationships because once again, it might be just for that emotional connection, not the
Mm-hmm.
physical. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they may be with someone else for the physical. Hence why
Yeah.
they are in multiple relationships or throuples. Maybe one individual is not big on sex and the other one is, but this individual is more of a comforter or, spends more time with you or whatever that other individual is lacking. That's why people often seek out something else.
Yeah. And this is true. And to really expound on what you're saying as far as them relationships go, because you got, some people that, they have open relationships. They go to little sex houses with their mates, and you
Mm-hmm.
know, they might look around. They might indulge. They might not. But just
Right.
the thought of it. You know what I'm saying? The physical, the scene. It might be like, "Ooh, that look crazy," or "Ooh, maybe let's try that later when we get home."
Right.
Or, "Damn, do you want to? Would you like? I like to see you hitting her, or I like to see." You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like it's some people are really like fake with it because they don't be real with themselves and be like, "Man, that looked nice," or "Yeah, I might want to try that," but
Exactly.
they thinking about what the next person gonna think about them. You know what I'm saying? And if they don't know their mate, they might not want to expose that to their mate. So it's like a secret. You know what I mean?
Yep, and
And they
that's
be
why a
like,
lot of
"Damn,
these relationships don't last, and they're having all these issues because once again, they don't have that foundation. First of all, they
yeah,
may not even know what a real relationship is, and I think I said that
yeah,
on multiple shows. Like I didn't even know what a real relationship was or a healthy relationship. I always switch it up
yeah,
because
yeah,
I don't like using the word a real relationship because what is a real
yeah." Healthy
relationship?
is better. Yeah,
But healthy relationships, I didn't know what that looked like. And that was even, from, like I said, from family to friends to a spouse. So if I didn't know that, what type of roadmap did I have to try to tailor something out of after? I didn't have anything. And that's the same with a relationship. I think a lot of people don't know even what it means. And I know lately I've been bringing up topics, but that's because I've been wowing myself, y'all. But anyway, but what is a relationship? Okay, according to the dictionary, a relationship is the state of being related or interrelated. So once again, it could be a family member, this could be your children, it could be a parent, it could be having that relationship with them. For the relation connecting or binding participants in a relationship, it could just be something that says kinship or a specific instance, a type of kinship. I said that for number three. But in that matter, I feel like that pertains to like maybe classmates or co-workers. You can be in a relationship with them, but it's because you are colleagues, and it's that type of relationship. And then the last one, a state of affairs existing between those having relations or dealings. That would be the significant other or a more intimate type of relationship. So it could be the side piece. I know last week people was bringing up situationships, different things like that. I guess that would fall into that state. Because when we're
hmm
talking about relationships, once again, there are different meanings, different type of relationships, but you have to know what type of relationship it is. Like Terrell brought
yeah,
up, you can't think that you in a whole relationship with somebody, and once again, you they side piece because
hmm
that interaction is not going, it's not going to match up, and that energy is not going to match up.
and it goes back to what you were saying about understanding what a relationship is, and everything in a relationship ain't gonna be peaches and cream. So you're gonna have some spats and some different little situations, but the 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 actual experience of it and going through it in a positive state makes it a healthy relationship,
Right.
because the more understanding that you have and communication that you have with whoever and whatever type of relationship it is, and you can get through it and communicate through it, it makes a better understanding. It makes it more healthier practice for knowing how to be in a relationship, whether it's intimate, business, social, whatever. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Because that's one thing as people that, you know myself, and where I come from, the culture I come from, we've been uh we've been subjected to a lot of toxic relationships and unhealthy
Oh,
relationships through our lives by the
let
trauma
me
that we've
change
been
this
through.
slide. Yes, we have
You know what I'm
toxic.
saying? So that toxic stuff kind of becomes a normalcy to us. So when it's not toxic, it's like, oh, this shit ain't right. Something
Right.
wrong here. We ain't arguing. We ain't get. We ain't used to being healthy and having that
Yes.
clear communication and level of be able to talk and get through stuff. And yeah, we had a disagreement, but we had agree, and now we good. We happy, as opposed to some windows getting broken out, and you know what I'm saying, or
Yeah.
you this, that, and the other, and names getting called, and going to your lower self. trying to hurt somebody, as opposed to just, agreeing to disagree and understand, okay, everything ain't gonna be peaches and cream in no relationship.
Exactly. And that's
But it's the
I,
it's the ultimate goal that you want to reach. Do you really
right.
want this to be successful? Do you really want to come out happy with this? Do you
Yes.
want this to be a positive end result? So, and it depends on those two people that's in that relationship.
Yep. The key thing that you said was in any relationship. And like you said, the
Yeah,
two people in the relationship, this
yeah,
could be a friendship as well. You know what
yeah.
I mean? You don't always have to agree. It's
Hmm.
okay to disagree with whoever this relationship is with once again. And I know we're being general, but the reason I'm doing that is because once again I said this is leading up to Valentine's Day, but Valentine's Day doesn't always have to do with spouses. And what I mean by that is every Valentine's Day I buy my children something. And the reason I started off doing that is because I never wanted them to feel like, well, first of all, we have all these holidays, y'all, that really don't mean nothing. That's the first thing. But because people are getting things, they're taking things to school, I always wanted my children to feel special. And because I had girls, I wanted them to be able to receive something every Valentine's Day because I didn't ever want them to feel like as soon as they
Left
got
out.
something from a man on Valentine's Day that it was like it meant the world. I mean, it's special, but I don't know. It was just, I don't know. It was my way of thinking. I just didn't want them to just be naive, I guess, or feel like, oh, just because I got a gift, like this is everything and he loves me. No, you're going to always get gifts. It's the little things that count. It's the
Yeah,
time,
just like the
it's
old
the
song, the old
attention.
song say, just because he wants to make love doesn't mean he loves you.
Exact. No, for real. Because that don't mean nothing. Look. But if we're talking about toxic, we talking about toxic. Like I
And
got
the
all
thing
the
about it is,
definitions today. Go ahead.
and the thing about it too is that it's that wanting to grow, wanting to be healthier, and understanding that trauma informed that you've been through, to
Hmm.
say, damn, like the meme go around, I'm a little bit toxic, but you're gonna love it over here.
You're right.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? A lot of people had that. You'd be like, damn, you'll see the person be like, okay, well, I might could deal with that little toxic.
Uh-huh.
We might could work that little toxic out. But it's basically, being real with yourself. Yeah, I ain't all the way, all my marbles ain't all the way here. All the cards
Right.
ain't in the deck. But you're gonna love it. And you know what I'm saying? If you get to know me, you'll see why I might be like that. And maybe you can help me change that toxicity into more healthiness.
But I'm big on changing verbiage. And last week we talked about being or using the word humble and humility. And so
Hmm.
this week, even talking about toxic and having it up here, I'm even thinking about this because the meanings it says of pertaining to, affected with, or caused by a toxin or poison, acting as or having the effect of a poison or poisonous, causing unpleasant feelings, harmful or malicious. I guess it would be more of number three, because when you're talking about just poison and then talking about that meme and how it's going around, and a lot of us, because even I laugh at it, I'm like, oh, that's crazy, because we think it's funny, it's cute, but it's really not cute. I don't want to be viewed as poisonous. That shit could kill
Yeah,
you.
but
I
the
mean, you
thing
know what I
about
mean?
it, yeah, but the thing about it is when you acknowledge that in yourself, because some people don't like us. We study things. We study
Yeah.
human behavior and psychology and emotional intelligence and all that. So we get it. We can understand a little bit more about our triggers and what triggers
Right.
us off. And don't do this, motherfucker. You gonna get fucked up. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Or I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna flash on you. Some people don't know that in themselves yet, but they know that they got a problem,
Right. Right.
and they basically say, "Well, I'm toxic. I'm a little toxic over here, but you're gonna love it." But they don't know their triggers yet. You know what I'm saying? Or they
Right.
might do
Right.
know their triggers, but they might not know how to control their triggers
And
and the
that's the
coping
thing.
mechanisms that you know.
And that's their way of, like you said, saying, I know I have some problems.
Yeah,
But like you said, if you love on me a little bit and stay with me, then hopefully I'll be able to
If
work
you
through
try
these
it out
things.
a little bit,
Right,
you
then you
don't
might
die
like
from
it.
it.
And you don't die. Just like the other meme that say, I didn't rode and I didn't died. I didn't rode and I died. I'm like, dang, don't nobody want to keep dying. But,
Yeah, for
those
real.
are the situations where once again, we have to figure out the type of relationship we're in. So is it a real relationship? Which is why I put those definitions up there. Is it real? Is it benefiting you? You know what I mean? Do you even know what a relationship is? And that's why I wanted to do the benefits of a relationship. Things that you should feel. Once again, this is if it's your companion, if it's a family member, if it's your colleague, whoever it is, somebody that's in your immediate circle that has an influence over you, they should make you feel loved. You should have that companionship, meaning you should be able to call on them when you need them, just like they're able to call on you and know that they're going to listen. You should feel safe. And I think that's big for me. I talk about safety a lot because I didn't have it as a child. So in relationships, and once again, that's any relationship, if someone shows me any type of area where I may not feel safe, and I know this may not be good, but that's a wrap for me. I may talk to the individual depending on how long we've been friends or how long we've been in that relationship, but for the most part, safety for me is one of the biggest things that can hinder a relationship, in my opinion. What do you think?
And for real, to piggyback off what you just said, if I ain't safe, I ain't fucking with it.
And that's what I'm
So,
saying.
and I think that's not a bad thing at all. To me, it's not a bad thing, in my opinion, because guess what? If I don't feel safe around you or the environment that you pulling me in, I think I need to pull back
Right.
because and fall back and get away from you. You know what I'm saying? Because even if I pull you in my space and I still don't feel safe around you, it's something going on with that vibe. It's something going on with that energy to where I just might need to leave your ass alone because if I don't
Yeah.
feel safe around you, I feel like you might be bringing some danger to me. It's time to sever that tie. I don't care how
Right.
good the twat is, how good you look. I don't care how about you smell, what you bringing to the table. Because if you bringing that unhealthy and that unsafe energy to me, 9 out of 10, we got to start listening to our intuition. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And the fuck the caution flag that that's caution or that's red, it's that. It ain't gonna
Right.
turn green. It's
But
gonna
I
turn
think
red and it's gonna get all bad. So
I
we
agree
got to
with
start
you.
listening.
But also the reason I said that it could, because too much of anything is a bad thing. And so if they haven't gotten a grip on their fear, and what I mean by that is like you said, we have a lot of awareness right now. But we've just come to that at our age. So at an earlier age, if I would have been having this conversation with someone, my senses were extremely heightened to where I probably thought everyone was out to get me, if that makes sense. I don't feel
Yeah,
that
and
way now. I'm able to separate and differentiate between an individual who may be potentially targeting me or doesn't have my best interest rather than someone who just doesn't know because they're still working on them. And I know I talk about that a lot and I say that, and the reason I bring that up is because I run into that a lot. And I think just because of me being a therapist, I'm able to spot when someone may still be growing. And so I'm not going to say I don't fault them, but I know how to feed people with a long handled spoon because they need to have their own learning experience. I can't do it for them. Like they say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. You can put the
and you
tools
know,
out there and you can lead by example, but you can't make that person change. And so I guess when I'm talking about that safety portion and doing too much, it's just when you've been in those spaces and you've been wronged by a lot of people, and then you get in spaces where you may be around good people, but you don't know how to let your guard down. That can be, a barrier for people.
yeah, and I think also what we learn and how we grow a little bit more is when we can make sense out of it. when we can put
Yes.
the understanding of why we think like this, why we feel like that, why my intuition say this. When you could put some facts behind why you feel like that, from human behavior and psychology and all of this stuff, it makes you feel like, I know I wasn't tripping. You know what I mean? It makes
Right.
you validate what you felt. You know what I'm saying? Because now you educated enough to know this is why A happened, and this is why B happened, and this is why XYZ happened. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And that's something that I always keep in the front of my head. I see now why I'm like I am, because I've educated myself to understand this was my trigger. This is why I was trauma inflicted, and this is why I responded like this, and this is why I
Right.
act like this. So, but everybody is not to that point yet to where they trying to make sense out of things, and that's why I be
Exactly.
like, let's make some sense out of this. Wait a minute, hold on. You
Right.
know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because just right now, it's just all over the place. But let's make some sense out of what you're saying and what you're feeling, and let's see how we can bring some sense to it, and be able to. Because like people can't articulate their feelings and emotions, but they
Yes.
know they feel a certain way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they might not be educated enough or verbally acute to expressing it. You know what I
Which
mean?
is why I think the last three are important. The shared interests, someone to have fun with, and share problems and difficulties. Because if you have somebody that is relatable and that has that shared interest, you can get past some of those barriers as far as the communication, because you'll be able to understand each other on a different level, or to be able to share your problems or difficulties with. And I guess in
Yeah.
that aspect, when we talk about relationships, that can even be a relationship with a therapist or some type of social worker, case manager, someone that you can feel safe with, and someone that will listen to you and understand whatever it is, that need that you have. Because that's
And,
another thing.
and,
I think that's something huge that relationships do. They fill in a void in your life. There's a
and
need that
something
we
else
have.
that's big. Something else that's big with that, because, and this is something I learned too from the culture. We'll go tell a therapist and a case manager or whatever, because we feel more comfortable with the privacy of the conversation and our
Yeah.
emotions, as opposed to telling our best friend that Mike can't hold water, or we think they're gonna spread it out or use it against us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Yes.
it's that level of trust in somebody that you can communicate with and share your feelings with, that matters, because and that's been a hang up, I know, in the culture for sure. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's
Definitely.
like, people have these memes. I don't care what you say about me. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
For real.
You care. You care. You know what I'm saying? And you care who you share it with. That's why you don't share everything with everybody,
Yes.
because somebody will go out there and try to, poison and defamate your character, your name, because you told them you was vulnerable with them and told you some information that you was just venting and trying to get some clarity about or whatever. And and that's why those relationships are so trippy. You know
Important.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you can be, I mean, I've seen and heard a lot of crazy stuff now, how parents hate on their kids, and
Yeah.
they love their kids but they hate their kids. And I didn't heard it from people's mouths. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not just seeing it, like, my mama love me but she don't like me. What the hell does that mean?
Yeah. They be
Well,
jealous of the
she
kids
loved me
doing
as a
more or
parent, but
excelling more.
yeah,
And
so it's
yeah.
it's crazy. And those are the things that we don't really understand growing up, or even as adults, if we don't educate ourselves on why these
Right.
things exist. Why does these feelings and emotions exist? Why do my parent feel like this towards my sibling? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We kind of understand sibling relationships a little more if you have siblings, that
Right.
sibling war and rivalry, but we don't understand that parent-child dynamic to where
But
one is living through the
that's
child or
why,
hating the child. You know what I'm saying?
once again, that's why today we're talking why relationships, and this topic was so important, because we only think about it in certain aspects. We don't think about the entire good morning, good morning. We don't think about the entire realm of a lot. Look, we don't think about the entire realm of what a relationship can be. And I
Mm-hmm.
say that to also say, because even when we're talking about friendships, I tell people you should have a lot of different friends. And I wanted to circle back because you said something about how we'll go and tell a therapist or a case manager or somebody something quicker than we'll tell our best friend. And that's true. But that's also why we have different friends. This friend may be somebody we just go out with. This friend is somebody I can talk to. This friend is somebody I know if it's time to turn up and we fighting, I know she gonna go hard. You know what I mean? This friend, I know, you know what I mean? You gotta, and it's okay to have a lot of different friends. And as a child, I used to be told that it wasn't okay. Like you need a best friend. But I think the times have changed, and that's why people have like besties and oh, that's my baby mama, or whatever category you throwing them in. It's because okay, this your baby mama because y'all got the same baby daddy. And she watching the kids when you can't, you watching the kids when she can't, y'all taking the kids together because y'all got to raise these kids. And
But
those
listen,
are different relationships.
let me interject 1 second. It ain't because times have changed. It's because information has evolved. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Maybe
You
it's we're
know,
more accepting of
yeah,
these
you know,
things.
because if you look at it, our forefathers and foremothers weren't as educated as us. They wasn't informed as us. They might have been spiritually and physically strong in certain aspects to deal with what they dealt with, but they didn't have the information that we have today.
No, you're
They
right.
didn't
You're
have the
right.
understanding and education that we have today to deal with certain things. And and that's why I tell people today, how can you be dumb when you could just Google the information to something?
Because
You know what I'm
just
saying?
like you said, if we
And it's
weren't
the
taught
evolve.
to
It's the
look
evolution.
for the information, then we're not
Exactly.
going to look. That has to be instilled in us. And
Yeah.
a lot of the generation that's coming up now, that has been instilled in them. It's been instilled in them to look on social media because they have access to those things. A lot of us that are this age, we didn't have the internet. I mean, it came later,
Exactly.
but we didn't have the internet. So for us, we had to go to the library. That's not something,
Encyclopedias stuff.
or yeah, it was books. But a
And
lot
it
of
was
people
old
aren't
information too. It
reading
wasn't
today.
current, relatable information as well.
That too.
So that's what makes the evolution of information and education a lot more
It's
subtle
heightening our
today.
awareness.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And that
Kim
was my
said,
point. You know what I mean? You could
oh,
teach a person only what you know, but if you don't know
yes.
shit, you can't teach too much. You know what I'm saying?
And I guess
And you
that's why
can't get
Kim
mad if
said,
they go learn it from somewhere else.
but friends be getting jealous of other friends. And that's the unknown, just like Terrell said. You can't teach somebody something if they don't know. All you can do to that friend is tell them, you don't need to be jealous. You my friend, she my friend, we all friends. But a lot of people, once again, are taught to do that when we're younger because they like, you need a best friend. That's the only person going to be in your corner. It don't have to be like that. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be like that. You can have a lot of
And
different
then
friends that are going to benefit you in different ways.
it's just like love, faith, and trust and friend. All of them is different definitions of people because it's like your definition of friend might be different than mine. And if
Yeah.
you my friend, you ain't gonna be jealous of me. But then again, there it goes them underlying conditions of being my friend
Yes.
and understanding my friend is my friend. She crazy, she jealous, but
There
she'll
you
go
go.
tear something up with me when I need to. But she might not like me, being in this
Yeah.
relationship with this dude and being a little
Exactly.
happy.
Or I
So
can't
it's the
tell her
understanding that.
when the good things happen in my life because I know she's not gonna really have no positive feedback. You know what I mean? Not that I'm not gonna
Yeah,
ever tell her because she's gonna find out because she's my friend. But I know that
yeah,
that's not the first person that I call because she's
yeah.
not that type of friend. And I think that's important. And I'm glad you said that. And that's something that we need to continue to point out and highlight because a lot of your friends, I'm not saying all, they're not always going to be happy for you because
And
we're just human. We're human and it's in our nature. And I don't care what anyone says, it's in our nature until we learn different because of how society is. I think it's something that they try to instill in us once again until we change it that we want to have more than the next person. We want to be bigger and better than the next person. We're always kind of coveting what someone else has. And yes, religion tells us not to covet, but in my opinion, I feel like they did that because they knew that they had already let that line out. You know what I mean? They had already fucked everything up. So they tried to wheel it back in and say, okay, now we need to tell people not to be coveting and all that and whoop de whoop because it was getting out of hand. Terrell looking at me like, I don't know. Oh, or is he froze? Terrell, you froze? Oh, well, anyway, that's what I think. That's my opinion, you guys. But today we talked about relationships. And the reason, once again, that we did that is because next week I'm going to be talking about love languages. When I talk about that, I'm going to put into perspective why we go after certain individuals, why we like certain men, why we like certain women, why we're attracted to certain friendships. It's because of the things that we didn't have when either we were younger, the things that we're looking for as an adult that we feel will make us whole. But I had to start off and kind of transition into that topic with just basic relationships because a lot of us don't know what a relationship is, what a healthy relationship looks like. We try to throw all of our relationships into one basket. That's not something you can do. Every friendship is not the same. Every family member is not the same, and your relationship with them. Um, What'd you say, Kim? Mine is dollar sign. Okay, I don't know. Or service. Okay, I don't know. I'm confused, but okay. Look, I don't know what you're talking about, but all right, girl. But we're talking about this because there can be a lot of different relationships. And something that I brought up in the beginning, now I bring it up again before we end today, is polyamory. The belief that romantic and or sexual exclusivity is not necessary for a happy, committed relationship. An umbrella term for various types of relationships where all partners involved consent to non-monogamy, such as open relationships, polycules, throuples, group marriages, etc. So, I don't know if I'm not on the polyamory. I do like to be in single relationships. I understand what
Can
they're
you hear me?
saying because yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Something's going on with Terrell's connection. Apparently, you guys, I see you back. You moving, but yes, we can hear you. Oh, and Kim said she was talking about her love language. Oh, okay. Oh, yours is material things. That's what you're saying. That's why you said mine is dollar sign. Okay, girl. Or them doing things for you. Mine is, I know mine is physical touch and affirmations. I do know that for me. I like people to tell me they love me or to tell me, when I've done things that are good. I like to be hugged. I like cuddling. So I know my love languages, and I look for individuals that are going to give me those things. You say yes, girl. I know, because you got to know to be able to receive and to be able to have those healthy relationships. You have to know your love language. So once again, next week is Valentine's Day weekend. We're going into that weekend. So I'm going to be talking about love languages. Yeah, we know about that physical touch, girl. Have your hair I don't know, even I don't know, I guess you can't put look and then a physical touch, but even certain individuals can just look at you and get that rise out of you. You know what I'm saying? So, we're going to talk about all that next week. I'm going to have someone on here that I've done the love languages with so I can kind of show you guys how it is. We see you messing with the camera. You on here, Terrell.
It was tripping.
I know it keep kicking you out. We have 7 minutes left, so it's okay. We wrapping everything up. I'm just bringing everybody up to speed. But next
Yes,
week I'll
indeed.
have an individual on here that I've done the love languages with. Yes, and not be triggered. Definitely. Because some people don't like physical touch, and that's why once again it's good to know your love language. You may not like people touching on you. So if you get with an individual that likes touching and giving that affection, y'all not gonna match. So once again, I want y'all to tune in next week. It's going to be great. If you don't have a Valentine, that's okay. Maybe this will help you get a Valentine. There's a lot of people that's still single. You can do Valentine's Day without a mate. You can go to dinner by yourself. Y'all can just join me next week, 9 in the morning. I think maybe I had some romantic. I think I'm a serenade y'all. I might sing to y'all next Saturday. I don't know. I don't really do that a lot.
We don't want to hear that.
But I might sing. Don't tell them that. I could sing. But I want to thank you guys for joining us again this week for another amazing show of She Who Found Her Purpose. Kim on here talking about Tinder.com.
6 minutes, 6 minutes, Becky Fresher on.
Yes. I want to thank everybody that joined us today. I want to thank you, Terrell, for being on the show today, for giving us that male insight, and, for being transparent and vulnerable on here. I know I didn't talk to you about individual relationships, but you did share a lot.
No need.
Well, because you were able to share with us about your opinion and how you go about your individual relationships. I know next week, I hope you're going to be on the, in my comments, because I'm going to be talking about love languages. So I want you to be prepared.
Look. My love language is give me some space and room and time. You know what I'm saying? Because I have I want to be around a person, but at the same time, I need that introvert space as well.
So that means that you need a woman that's not looking to give that physical touch, which
No, I ain't. No, don't say that.
No, I'm not meaning in that way, because you can fall on the borderline. Of course, you want some physical touch. look, I know you want some physical touch. But I'm saying, smothering, because some women.
Oh, yeah, that's the word right there. Smothering. And insecurity. Because if I'm with you, I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? I might look, I might talk, I might flirt, but damn it, I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna disrespect you or try to disrespect you. You know what I mean? But I'm a man. I'm gonna be me. God damn it.
But some women don't understand that. And once again, that's why I say in these relationships, when you're building that foundation, when you're getting to know someone, you need to make sure you're asking the questions you need to ask. You're being open and transparent with that individual. Once again, even if it's a friendship, with what you're looking for and what you're looking to gain in those interactions. Because if they're not willing to meet you halfway, or they can't provide the things that you're looking for, then you're always going to be upset.
Yeah, and the segue into that is this. I seen a meme the other day. It was like, just because me and you talking, that don't mean I'm supposed to stop talking to anybody else, or just
that's real.
Because
guess what? I feel
just because you and we talking, I ain't supposed to drop everything else for you. I don't even know you. And we ain't even got to associate yet. We just talking conversation. You know what I'm saying? So, and people be having it twisted. Well, how many people you talking to? Well, hell, I talk to a lot of people. But guess what? You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to you in a certain way, but you can't misconstrue me talking to other people with how I'm talking to you, because we have a one-on-one thing.
And everybody's different. That's what people need to realize. You might win the race.
And you gotta be an associate to even get to friendship.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's
it's like,
very
wait a minute. How you gonna tell me I need to stop talking to all these people or this other person because I'm talking to you? And you ain't monitoring yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what? Okay, yes. On that note, Kim want to know where you got them silk pillows from.
Hey, listen. Hey, Kim. It's the cost to be the boss. You know what I'm saying? You can't give away all your secrets. You know what I mean?
And you see, Kim, what he got to say. He ain't even got his name up here today, y'all. He got the velvet one. He want to let y'all know.
You know what I'm saying?
Before we leave, he want to let y'all know that he does provide massage services.
Oh, most definitely.
Go ahead. Let them know. Go on and shoot your shot.
These are healing hands. I provide massages for women. No men. I don't touch on no men. But I provide massages for women. I'll come to you. You can come to me. Whatever. My prices are feasible. And I guarantee you'll be satisfied with my work, or you won't even have to pay. Straight out. I do parties and all that, but that's just how good I am. That's how confident I am in my work.
So women,
and that's how I know I can do what I do.
I want to make sure y'all heard that he do parties, and if y'all not satisfied,
you ain't got to pay.
You ain't gotta pay. He didn't say
do
you
not
don't.
have to pay.
You ain't gotta pay.
You
Okay.
ain't gotta pay. You get it for the free word, the F word, the free word.
If y'all want to hit him up, hit up Mr. Tillman. I'll put his stuff in the comments. He'll probably already be in there. Y'all can hit him up before Valentine's Day. Kim said, what massage school you go to? You can ask him that. Hit him up in his inbox, in his DMs. He want to hear from y'all. I'll see y'all next week. I'll be talking about love languages. It's always great. And once again, I want you guys to follow, like, and share.
Peace out.
Her purpose on YouTube and Facebook.
You the bomb.
I'll see y'all next Saturday at 9 a.m. Bye, Terrell. See you later. Bye, everybody.